preparing for was to deal with the children. I was trying to reach out to the young ones, the ones who's going to be here after we leave. More importantly, I want to make sure they are going to be here after we leave, because every time you open up a newspaper, turn on a television or radio, another one is shot before he even gets out of the car. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to go over some penal codes for refreshments, okay? Just bear with me, because, again, I was doing this for children, but I'm dealing with the adults now, and sometimes I don't know, it's adults from the children from the adults. And let's be honest, we can get foolish at times, and we're stuck in our ways as well. And you're going to find out in a few minutes what I'm talking about. Give me a second. I just want to take out some paperwork. Can you hear me? Yeah. I'm going to pass off. I got 15. I was not expecting this many. I have 15 paperworks here that I'm going to try to pass out. Everyone's not going to be able to get one. For those who can, just double up. If someone's sitting together, you can double up one. That's one of the reasons why I want to get everybody closer. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It might be enough to give every adult one, yes. Passing out more paperwork as we go. Now, like I wanted to speak with the young people, I'm speaking to you the same way. I didn't come here to sugarcoat anything or to play games. Okay, I came here to tell you what it is out there in the real world. You know what it's like. You can turn a blind eye to it, but it is what it is. You don't realize it until you're pulled over. And then you're faced with it, and then you're looking around for somebody to help you. Okay? But real quick, everybody got a copy or can see a copy of this. I just want to go over this first. All right, I'm going to start. Can everybody read that top part for me? Just say everybody together. What does it say? Finish. Green light. We'll stop right there. How many of y'all understood what I just wrote there? See, that's simple. It's for the kids, but it makes sense. If we cannot sit and educate our children before they walk out that house, they're going to run into something just like this. And some of us say, not my child. And some of you say, not even me. But it can be you. Because you can walk out that house with something on your mind or with an attitude, and there you are, from a bad cop. Okay? Let's finish reading on the next one. I'm going to read that. To my young brothers, black brothers and sisters, do not be the next victim. Don't let your mouth and actions become weapons against you by being shot or strangled out of life because of your own words. Does that remind you of anything? The first thing you think of when I wrote that was who? George Floyd. George Floyd. He was strangled out of his own mouth just because of the words he used. Talking about, I can't get into this police car because I'm phobic and I'm this and that. Oh, thank you. Okay. Hello? Oh. Okay. I'm sorry. The same with George Floyd. The same thing happened to him, and he lost his life. Such a needless murder. And that's what it was. Here's a white cop who felt that he was privileged to put his knees in the back of this man and just watch this man slowly die. And the sad thing about this killing, murder, is that the world saw it for the first time how vicious this world really is. The devil's a liar. The devil is a liar. Okay? And that's what it was. The devil sitting up there doing his dirt on this man's back because he was phobic. Instead of sitting up there saying, okay, officer, I'll go down, I'll squeeze into this car, take me down, he may have been alive today. Sometimes when we don't like things, you just have to eat that humble pie. Mama used to tell you that all the time. Eat this humble pie. Not me. I'm gone. Especially us men. I see a few in here. I think, I'm going. No, you're not. No, you're not. That man has that thing on his side. He has more army before him to put you in place or put you in the grave. Okay. All right. So let me see. For those of you who have driver's license, in our driving or about to drive. I would like to take this next hour to speak and demonstrate, educate you all in importance as why you should follow and obey driving laws in the state of Connecticut. Correction, in any state, not just Connecticut, in any state, okay? Especially in the South. Driving is not a right, but a privilege. A lot of us think you have a right to drive. It's not a right, it's a privilege. And how do you get a privilege? It's conditional. The conditions is if you follow the law, you can drive. You break the law, you go to jail and you lose your license. Okay? Or, in our case, your life. Okay? So we have to be careful to follow these laws. What I'm leading up to here is what I'm going to start on the next page with, because I'm going to try, because I wrote this for the children, I'm going to try to just go to the next page. Because at the bottom here, it says, first, young men and young ladies, I need for you to come into our meeting. You notice it says our meeting. And then put aside what you think you know, and to what I know you need to know. Be open-minded and willing to be taught. Now, that's a powerful statement right there, the latter part. Be willing to be taught. So many times, we sit there and we play with our children, even ourselves. Oh, blah, blah, he's not going to do this. He's not. No. You stop that young man. And wife, sometimes you stop your husband. Husband, sometimes stop your wife. If they're walking out that house in a wrong attitude, in the spirit, the right spirit they with them, encourage them. That's what the Word of God says. Encourage them. Paul said, I have to encourage myself. And he did when he was going through all these troubles. He even called on the Lord, this thorn in my side. Lord, if you remove it from me. And the Lord told him what? My grace shall be sufficient. Your grace to each other should be sufficient when you see us go on the street, even with our children, okay? Stop them. Because today's children are so caught up in looking at these gadgets that they don't even go outside. Like Mama didn't have to tell us to go outside and play basketball and be home before Daddy get home for dinner, okay, or be home before the street lights come on. Today, you can't even get them out the house. Never mind, turn the light switch on. Am I right? Okay. And that's what makes them wiser but weak. So when they go out to the street, they don't know how to present themselves when they come across harsh and real trouble. Harsh and real trouble. When they run up against bad guys, when I say bad guys, there's good and bad in everywhere you go, even in our churches, okay? Let's be honest. Let's stop the fooling around here, okay? There's good and bad everywhere. And they're going to run into a bad cop, and they're going to meet the first time a life experience that's going to maybe mess them up for the rest of their lives. Okay, I'm going to go to the next page real quick. It says the Connecticut State Statute, the Penal Code. These are some of the fractions I wrote down for the kids to understand, because this is the things that they're doing when they're out in their new cars, or what they call their new car. The car's 50 years old, but it's new. They go out 100 times and wax and make sure the birds don't mess on it. Okay, it's new to them. So they're driving down. 14299 is called a traffic signal, which means the red light, the green light, the yellow light. Kids, the red light means stop. The yellow light means caution, prepare to stop. If you're already under light, go. The red light means it's it. Turn right on red is labeled, turn right on red, right? But a lot of us now, honestly, how many of you folks still turn right when it says no turn on right? How many of y'all still doing it? Come on, you're smiling. Because you know, that's okay, don't raise your hand because I don't want, thank you, Lord. But you know what I'm talking about. That's what, plead the fifth. I plead the blood. Plead the fifth, but that's okay, it's okay. But we do it. And those are the certain times it's going to catch up with these kids, because they're doing it too. And they're doing it more abundantly than you're doing it, okay? Because they feel they have a right, and it's a privilege. And they're getting caught. And a lot of these kids are getting caught, and again, they're losing lives, because every time you turn around lately in the news, you'll find out that these kids were shot and killed. It was a traffic violation. What you're reading here on this piece of paper, if you notice, it says infractions. Anybody know what infraction is? Is it what? Okay, you got partially, you got a part of that right. I like that. Thank you, sir. That's part of it. It is a rule. An infraction is, what it means is, a felony is a crime you commit, you do a year and a day in prison. That's a felony, a year and 1 day. A misdemeanor is under a year. Anything under a misdemeanor is an infraction, which means it's a money value, an infraction. You got to pay some money. You broke one of the rules, we're going to charge you $100, $200, $300. That's called an infraction, okay? So that's what happens when they catch you with your seatbelt off. It's an infraction, $200-some odd. Parking in the handicap can take you up to $500 in infractions, okay? We can't lock you up. But there are some of these infractions that can turn into a misdemeanor and a felon. And I'm going to jump right ahead on this one real quick because I think you need to know it. I'm going to jump down to the where most kids are going to get in trouble at. I'm going to see if you can figure out, where do you think the cops are going to get most of our children? Which infraction on that piece of paper? Or one you think in your head that most kids are going to end up getting in trouble on? Speeding's one. Who said that? Don't be ashamed. Stop at the school bus. Going by, there you go. And there's one more big one, the big daddy. Brother, stand up. I'm going to take care of you when I come up again. I'm going to take care of you. You're going to get taken care of. I have a gold pen, tie clasp. Don't let me forget to give it to that young man. You want it. The telephone. That telephone has killed more people since telephones been used in cars because we're distracted. You're driving 30 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour. It only takes a few seconds at 60 miles an hour and you're in another man's lane. Okay, that's how quick it works. Bend down and go to turn the red and look back up. You're already over the red, yellow line. It's killing more of our kids wrapped around trees. So when you hear about a kid was coming home late, he wrapped around a tree and he was by himself. The first thing say, telephone. Telephone. Cops stop you, telephone. And when the cops pull you over, first thing they do, they get rough. They get nasty with you because they realize how nasty this type of accident, if someone else get killed because of your foolishness. So they snatch you out of the car and they kind of, what we call fine-tune you. You know, when you got one of them old radio stations when we were kids and they had that static, you always try to get that knob right where it sounds the best, called fine-tuning. Well, police officers do that too. You got good and bad everywhere. And so that's another one of the big ones. And seatbelt. Kids don't like to wear seatbelts. They don't. But they like to speed. And what happens? When they speed and they hit a tree, they go right through the window. And if they had the seatbelts on, mommy wouldn't be sitting up there crying the next day or at the funeral house paying that extra expense because of foolishness. And these are some of the things we should remind our kids. John, Mary, where you going tonight? Okay, don't forget to put the seatbelts on because Mr. Charlie waiting to get you. Put your seatbelts on. No drinking. None of that smoking and fooling around. Now, you shouldn't be in it because you're Christian. You're born-again saints. Okay, you baptized under the blood of Jesus. So I shouldn't have to say it to you, but I'm going to say it to you anyway because I know you have friends that aren't like you, but they're still your friends. You know, we can pick and choose our families. You can't pick and choose these kids' friends. Okay? You just can't do it. And sometimes friends have hidden secrets or hidden ideas and things they do behind your back where your son say, it's him doing it. I'm not doing it. Going to the prom. I'm not doing it. Hey, John, let me drive home. Oh, you my boy. Go ahead and drive. Accident, dead. He was drinking. First thing mama say, drinking? My son don't drink. Well, who was driving? Who was the influencer here? We have to constantly be reminded. It sounds redundant, but today we have to talk to children like it's no tomorrow. And there is no tomorrow if we don't get on top of some of the things that's going on in the world today. Now, real quick, and I'm going to get back into the lesson. I'm very passionate about kids in the church. And when I come to a church and I don't see kids, it bothers me. Mama, daddy, make them kids get up and practice. I don't care what you do to get them in here. We need more children in our churches. We need more babies in our churches. I need someone to take over me when I leave here. This has to live on. Let's not send Jesus to the cross for nothing. But it's hard to talk, not my child, not my little Mary. Why not? If you're not putting your 10 cents, matter of fact, your 1 cent, your common sense into it. Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. I didn't come here to scold nobody. I know. Oh, that Brother Jackson, man, he nasty guy. Yep. And then another one is vehicle stop signs. Kids are notorious when they get, and you do it too. We get to the stop sign, if we don't quite stop, what we call roll through the stop sign. Oh, what did you say? There you go, sis. I like the way you're honest. I like you too. I might think about giving you a pen. I said think. Okay. And this is what happened. We roll through these stop signs, and the man is waiting for this. You were going to say something? No, do you roll through them too? I like that. Honesty. The reason I start, I like honesty. I like that. Okay, let me stop. I get all worked over little things. To me, it's a big thing. But these rolling through these stop signs can kill a person just as quick as watching your phone and get it crossing the lines. And you got officers that sit and wait for these type. And not only are they sitting, they're waiting for the right person that look like me and you. People of color. And thank you for bringing it up, brown, white. People of colors. People who look like us, Spanish people, white people who are dark or mixed. People of color. We're all in the same boat because when you look at the statistics, they look like me and you. Dark, or he's Cuban. I don't care. To them, he's black. You see? He died like he was black. I beat him like he was black. He bled like he was black. He was black. There's no need for this. There's none. And something else, Elder, you said earlier. I'm curtailing my lessons. Reason a lot of this is because we don't support and we're not active with one another. We aren't. In the old story, Mom used to tell us, we are crabs in the barrel, so accept you're a crab. Okay, accept it. I know it hurts your feelings. Sorry. No, I'm not. Okay? We have to learn that we're going to say we're Christians, and we're going to have to learn to act like true Christians, okay? We can't go home and take off our headbands and say, it's okay, I can relax now. When you gave yourself to the Lord, that was a 24/7 deal, okay? And just like I look at The Rock, I don't want The Rock crying for me. I cry for myself. And I cry and pray for each and every one of us every day. Let me get back to the lesson. The next page, it says, United States criminal justice system is the largest in the world. I really want to talk about that one. The largest in the world, the largest criminal system in the world is the United States Penal Code system. And they said slavery was finished. That's right. 1963, or was it 64, we got the right to vote. What year was it, 64? 63 or 64, we got the right to vote. And the voting also gave us the right to vote. Democratic, Republican, Independent, even Communist was on the ballot at that time. It's not anymore, but it was. But yet, we are still bondage through a criminal penal code system. I'm going to tell you a true story real quick. I was a young boy, and I'm driving. There was 6 boys and my 2 sisters. We were all packed in my father's 56 Buick. I'm not dating myself. I'm just telling you what year the car was. And the policeman was behind my father, and my father told us all, don't look back, don't look back. And I said, why, Dad? He said, the police behind us. Now, my father didn't do anything wrong, but he was nervous because the police officer was behind him. So I asked Dad later on, why, Dad? He says, if you go to jail, they take your job. I got it. That's what promoted me. I said, when I get big, I'm going to become a police officer. We're going to stop this foolishness. And that's what I did. Back then, and they still do it today. Police officers back in the 50s, the 40s, 30s, and so forth coming on up. The way to keep you from getting a real good paying job, give you a criminal record. Misdemeanor up into a felony, you wasn't getting no good job. You did day labor. When you look at the statistic when you got married, it said, what was your job? Laborer. Not doctors, Indian chiefs, not even a bike rider. You were laborers. And this is what they're doing today, even with our young kids, without that education, without them knowing how to develop an attitude when they step out of the house and go into the world. They're going to end up in that system. They're going to end up in that system. And all you need to not be able to vote is to be a felon. You can't vote if you're a felony. Did you know that? Just imagine a young kid, 18, 19 years old, makes a mistake and become a felon. He's done. And then they worry why the prisons are full because these kids can't get a decent job, a good paying job to make minimum wage. And minimum wage, as we all know, don't mean nothing. You're just barely making it with minimum wage. You're still biting your fingernails to supplement the banana that you couldn't eat to fill you. That's sad. That's a sad situation. And again, this is one of the reasons why we as adults, we as educators, we as teachers, we as saints, and this is nothing. He says, go out and spread the good news. Are we doing this? How do you spread the good news if you can't even spread it in your own house? Don't calm down. I am. You know, I get like that sometimes. I mean, I get really upset because I look at what I had to go through when I was coming up. I went to get my first job when I came back from Vietnam. They gave me a job working as a mail boy at Aetna's Life, a mail boy. I graduated from high school, had a little piece of 1 year in college, a mail boy. I says, no, it's got to be something better than that. And what I kept doing, I went back to school, and I educated myself because I figured that education was a bullet that will send a force out, will propel me to get better. And I ended up becoming one of the first black arson investigators on the Hartford Police Department, okay? You have to work and want it, but you also have to be equipped with the tools to do this. And this is why parents are so important. We're mommies and mommies. That's right, mommies. That's right. Look up on it. Encourage your children to do better. Don't sit up there and allow them to always weep on the shoulders. Get up, boy. Get up and get up on out of here and go get this done, okay? Make me proud. We have to turn this thing around. We have to do that. If not, again, we're going to see another dead child. Guaranteed tonight, before I leave here, someone's going to be killed on Dixwell. I'm just picking out the street. Someone's going to kill somebody down there on Orange or Orchard. Okay? Something's going to happen, or in Hartford. Something's going to happen. And some mother and father is going to be weeping again. Mama, don't you weep. Well, Mama, you allow certain things to go. Okay, let me move on. Another thing that's going on, same sheet's called racial profiling. Most of the good jobs you find in any corporation, even in the police department, especially the police department. The police department is one of the most racial places you can ever work for. When I went for the work for the Hartford Police Department, they had this guy, he was Detective Cole, he was a white guy, put a white sheet over his head and would walk up and down the hallways while I was in training and the rest of the black guys. Okay? They hired 50 cops that year and only 6 of us was black. They didn't want just us 6, just a crumb. We were just little crumbs. They didn't even want us there. And us 6 got together and we met at my house. We met together and we studied and we studied and we studied and we studied. And we studied. We came out the top 8 in the class of 50, okay? They hated that. They hated that. Out of those 6, 4 of them went on to be lieutenants and captains, okay? It's called coming together, community, community. Community and community, you find unity. Unity, you find the church. Every time we talk about something, it leads right back to the church. And the church is where? We forget where the church is. Somebody said, do you know where so-and-so church is? You better stop and start hitting your chest. It's right there. I'm going to say it again. I don't want no rocks crying for me. I'm crying for myself. Okay, let me move on. I had to curtail this because it was for kids, but I'm trying to make it for adults now. Okay, the next one. I'm moving kind of fast. I know time is moving. Black disparities in youth incarceration. The next one. That's another big one. White kids get locked up, right? They get locked up. There are more of them. They get locked up by the tons. And guess what happened to them? Somebody just give me a quick guess what happened to the white kids when they get locked up. Where they go. Well, that's afterward. They get rewarded. But you're on point there. Someone said something over here. That's close. No. All ages when they're locked up, we're talking between 16 years. Let's start with 14 when they're even put into the juvenile delinquent system. Yes, sir.
Alternative incarceration. I just wanted to say that we started a program, alternative incarceration, so that in the juvenile court,
Stand up.
the black and brown individuals would not have to go to jail. They go to alternative incarceration.
Bingo.
We got a
Bingo.
to support that. When we got the budget to support that program, alternative incarceration for black and brown students, the court began to send the Caucasian kids into the alternative incarceration and continue to send the black and brown students to jail.
That's a fact.
A program designed specifically for alternative incarceration for black and brown individuals.
My brother, did I say I love you? I love you, man. I love you, man. You stay close. That is 150,000% correct. White people get treatment. Black people go to jail. That's why they're the highest population of people on the last page we just talked about that is being built to go into prison. They're started young to wean them, to set them up that they can fail to go to prison. When they go to prison, get out of prison, they cannot vote. If you cannot vote, you don't have any rights. If you don't have any rights, you go back to prison. And you want to know something else? Let's go back to what prison do. You get cheap labor. It's called slavery. You get 5 cents an hour to build something, and then they come out and sell it for $1,000, but yet you only get 5 cents off that money. Why do we continue to go through this? Thank you for that. And that is correct. When they're, yes, sir, please.
They're also charging you now for being in jail.
That's the new thing. I didn't know that one. Love you too. See?
Those that are in jail have to pay a week. Like if the money, if you send them money, they'll take that money because they owe, they have to
Yes,
pay the
yes, yes. It's called PAL, something like that. It's a system you send it to. You cannot send direct. You have to go through this system where they get the money. That is correct. So they're in still control of your money. In control of your money, Mr. Slave or Mrs. Slave, who's not getting any treatment, that I already know where you're going. So I don't have to look for your zip code. I know where you are. You in the big house, the penitentiary. And that is correct. We're setting our children up from day one to fail when we do not give them the education that is so needed. And that's called being parents. It doesn't take hard time to pick up a book and try to learn something, even about yourself. I learned a lot about myself just picking up a book, reading this and reading that. I didn't know all this stuff before. I was ignorant. I was ignorant. The Bible speaks about being ignorant of the Word of God. Okay? There's nothing wrong with being ignorant, but there is something wrong with staying ignorant. That's the problem. Okay? Educate yourself. Learn. Pick up. Want to do right. Not just live for the moment and then the next 20 minutes you're back to yourselves. You killed that old man. Let him stay dead. Okay? It's a hard job. I get it. How old are you, young man? Yes, sir. Thank you for coming, man. Thank you for coming, all right? I like that. Thank you, young brother. Ooh, you just made my night. You just made my night. I told my brother, I could just get one. Okay, now we're moving on to the next page. And I'm going to hit on this one kind of tough. Family members, friends in crisis. Family members and friends in crisis. A lot of times, all of us have our best buds, our best friends we hang out with. Even us who grew up, we could go back and say, man, my best friend was Joe. Yo, you remember Billy Bob? You remember JJ? What about Hook? You remember Hook? What about B-Hop? You remember B-Hop? You remember B-Hop, right? Man, that B-Hop used to jump on those folks' roof into the tree. And next thing you know, he gone. We all had that best friend, okay? But also we have friends that confide in us, who tell you things that they can't tell mommy and daddy. Tell them their most intimate, because that's my best friend, okay? Here's what I want you to do. Listen to your best friends. When you hear your friends talking about, I'm tired. This key word, I'm tired. Now, I know about this word here, I'm tired. When I was in Vietnam, I was tired. When I said I was tired, I was ready to check up out of here. I was sick, what's going on? I'm tired. Tired of seeing it. Tired of smelling it. Tired of dealing with it. Time to get out of here. Okay, go to sleep forever. When you hear your friend talk about, I'm tired, or I've been thinking about maybe doing this or doing that, call somebody. Do not leave him alone. Stay with him. Encourage him. Try to pull it out of him, what it is that's eating him up. He's ready to kill himself. That is a candidate for suicide. He's waiting to kill himself or herself, okay? Hold them, hug them. The greatest thing you can do to a person who is hurting, because that's the purest form of hurt, it's a spiritual hurt. And it can only be handled with the spirit of love. If someone comes up unto you and just holds you, man, I love you, it sends a vibe in that body like no other. It just wakes them up because it brings tears to him and to you. Because it lets them know the world may not want you, I want you. Jesus said that too, didn't he? Didn't he say that? He died for us too, didn't he? Okay, because sometimes I lose it. I just need help every now and then. I'm saying that to you because you're my ace boom coon man. You're a young man. And I want you all to hear it, even mothers and fathers. You hear it. Learn when your children come into the house and you see they're acting different. They're in the rooms and they're in the corners, or you just hear things thrown up against the wall. Go and sit with them. Even take them by the hands time to time. Mary, come here. No, I said come here. And you know how we got to get there? Girl, don't you make... And then they get closer, if you grab them, you hug them, you give them a kiss. And they say, Mommy, what was that for? Because I love you. And you let them go. That may make a difference in their life right then and there. Will make a major difference in their life. It may stop something that may have occurred. I can't say for sure if it was going to happen, but you set a different direction to let them know the world may hate them, but I love you. Okay? All right, let me move on because I know I'm wasting... So let me just go to the next page. Okay. Now, here's another on the next page. Talk about suicide by cops. Another one. This is true. This is very true. I've seen this with my own eyes on this. There are people, kids, especially with young kids, not so much adults, but adults do it. Mostly with kids lately are doing this. They're afraid to kill themselves, but they want to die because the pain that's inside of them is hurting so bad, they don't know what to do with it. It's eating them up. They can't go to mommy because mommy's out doing whatever. They can't go to daddy because I don't know who daddy is. Or when I do know him, he's not there. Yeah, he's sitting there, but he's not there. You understand what I mean? Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. So who does he go to? He's tired. He's hurting. Things is going awry in his life. He met a person. They may have a child out there that he can't deal with anymore. Just a young lady that just had a baby by him, but he's too young to be a father. You're seeing this more and more and more and more, especially with us. Especially with us. How much do you expect? Heck, if we can't even get a job, it bothers us at the ages we're at. So can you imagine what it does to a child? If he can't make it, the first thing he says, I didn't expect to live to be 30 anyway. Or you hear these young kids say, man, 30, you an old man. You heard it. 30, you an old man? That already tells you they do not expect to live but a certain amount of years. And with that type of mentality, which tells me that's a scary child because that child will kill you. Because he already gave up on life. There's something wrong here. There's something wrong here, and I'm going to fall back on something I said earlier, and y'all get mad with me if you want. The church needs to be filled with children. I don't care if we got to go in every corner and drag them in here. They got to be filled with these kids. And these kids got to get the Holy Spirit in them. They got to know that somebody loved them. If it's no more than it is Jesus, they need to know how Jesus loved them. This stuff has to stop. I know I joke a lot, but there's some things I'm very passionate about, and I won't joke with on any level when it comes down to children and senior citizens. We have to find a love first for the seniors. They've been on that dusty road a long time. They taught us a lot of stuff. If they didn't teach us, then why do you keep going by grandma? Grandma, oh, can you cook? Can you do this? Why do you do it if they didn't teach anything? You see? Children and babies, they don't know anything. They lean on you. They lean on you. Okay. Okay, let me pass out some other. Hold on, I'm going to be passing out something. I spent too much time on this sheet here, but I'm going to pass out. First thing, can you just pass these out? This is a cell phone law. I just want to make sure everybody, that's for them to keep. The cell phone, it has some literature in there for you and your children and so forth and so on. I'm going to pass out some of these here. It's called Black Disparity in Youth Incarceration. I'm giving these to the parents. How many's left? And just give them theirs to keep. I'm passing out some of these photos so that you can read some of the stuff that's going on. That will give you some education as to what's going on with them and in your household. I'm also going to pass out, but I'm going to speak on this right quick. Okay, I'm going to. There are new statistics that are out this year. And it's saying any child born in the year of 2001 up into 2023, that I believe it's 65% of them, 60% of them will have seen some form of incarceration. Let me, wait, whoa. You're telling me you're so good now that you can predict the future where my black brothers and sisters are going to be in 2023? And this is what they're doing. That's how institutionalized racism works. It is so prevalent, and we allow it to exist because we do nothing except fall into that pattern on it. And it's sad. Okay, can I just get someone to pass this out? It says, lifetime likelihood of going to state federal prison. Nice title, huh? State federal prison. You're going to the big house. Enjoy it. I had some other paperwork I want to pass, but he wouldn't have time to show you all the kids that were killed over the years and how they were killed from George Floyd. Real quick with George Floyd, because my time is winding down, because I wanted to do a skit real quick. So I'm going to do this real quick and do something. George Floyd changed the world, especially the black youth, young black youth. When George Floyd was killed and those little girls were filming it on their little phones, do you know that psychological problems with young kids went up and is still climbing for these kids? And what they're finding out through the research, it had a lot to do with watching George Floyd die. These kids never seen a black man look like them die in their presence. Everyone's sitting there with this man's knee on his back for all those minutes until this man was dead. I never seen him, not me. They never seen anyone die like that before in their lives. Psychologically, they're saying, he's no longer here. Then they watch how they picked this piece of man up and threw him up on the cart without giving him any help. Psychologically, that affected our kids, and that also contributes to why they can bring up statistics why our kids are going to be going to jail. They're already hopeless. Now they're hopeless. You see? We, again, have to turn that around. But how are you going to turn it around unless you can see it and understand it? And you have to want to understand it, but a lot of times we don't understand it until we come to our front door. And then you're crying, oh, we got to call out the Army. We got to call out the Marines. Well, what about Mrs. Jones' kid? They didn't hear you crying out the Marines then. You see? Mm-mm. But it never matters until it's your child, your child. Fill the church up. Fill the church up. I'm sorry, I keep going back there. I know, I don't mean to do that. All right, I'm going to do a quick skit. Young brother, would you come up here real quick? Yep, you. Mm-hmm. I need some more. I wish I had a couple more young brothers in this church. You come too. No, don't be smiling. You get on up here too. You're trying to be, you're going to really get it. You really going to get it. Have a seat. You got your cell phone with you?
Yes.
Take it out. I don't want you guys sitting down. Take it out. Okay. You got your cell phone?
Yes.
Y'all friends?
Brothers.
Brother, you know the cell phone number? Have
Yeah.
a seat. Have a seat. Yeah, you be surprised. You laugh. You got brothers in the household don't even know his middle name. It's not funny, but it's true. Now, some of y'all are wondering what this is, right? This piece here, right? You don't want to meet my friend, though, do you? Okay. Some of y'all been looking up because I've been watching you keep looking up here. Well, I'm going to tell you what it is. You called him?
Yes.
Okay, you can talk to him. Now you know what this is? Oh, what you say? Oh, yes. I like the way you said that. Oh, yes. You didn't have to run into one at your time. Okay. Okay, now, they're driving along, right? Driving. We just finished talking about young kids, right? Driving and on these cell phones, right? I said the number one thing police officers like to do is catch them. Look at them having a good time. The two brothers. All of a sudden, you hear the police officers coming. What do you do?
Drop the cell phone.
Do what you do. And I want you to act just as real if it was a real situation. What you would do. Just act the same way. Don't change anything. It's as real. Don't play. No, I don't want you to fake anything. Be who you are. Because I want y'all to look at their attitudes. Okay? You hear the sirens coming, right? You hear the sirens coming. Okay? You hear me coming. You're going to, first thing, what do you do when you hear the sirens? What do you do?
Stop.
No, you look back to see where I'm at, don't you? Yeah. And then what do you do?
Signal to pull over.
Oh, okay, so you're pulled over now, right? Then what do you do with your cell phones?
Put it away.
Or under your leg, right? So you hide them. So hide them, like I said, do everything what you would really do. Because I want them to see, there you go, and you look forward. Now, I'm coming up to the car, right? Oh, you looking back to see where I'm at? No, is that what you do? Oh, in the mirror, right? In the mirror. Y'all heard mirror before, right? What do you do? You look back, right? You look back, okay. So when I get closer, what do you do? No. You better not reach for nothing. He reach. You see? Folks, you understand what I'm saying? I reach. Okay, keep reaching. Okay, now I'm coming up.
Is there a problem, officer?
See, I'm heated now. Is there a problem? But he broke the law. But is there a problem with me? What do you mean is there a problem? Is there a problem?
No, you pulled me over.
Yeah, but you asked the question. Is there a problem?
No.
There's no problem.
No, sir.
Then why did I pull you over?
Speed?
Were you speeding?
Probably.
You see?
I am having.
Guilty. You see? You were speeding. Mm-hmm. You were speeding. Mm-hmm. That's good. Thank you for telling me that. I'm glad you admit that you broke the law. Okay, where's your license registration?
In my pocket.
You can put your hands down. You take your hands off the steering wheel. Where are they?
In my pocket.
Let me see. Pull it out. What pocket? You got a gun in that pocket?
No, my left pocket.
What's in? You been smoking?
No.
You been drinking?
No.
Then why are you sweating and nervous?
Because I'm black.
Put your hands down. Give me your license registration. Give it to me now. Hurry up. I said, give it to me. Don't make me. Get out the car. Get out the car. Get out the car. Get over there. Put your hands up on the car. I asked you a simple question. You speak English?
No. Yes.
But you see, okay, give me your license and registration.
Okay, I'm gonna put my hands.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, put it in there, put them out. Okay, pretend you did. Okay, boom, boom, boom. License, registration. Okay, no, but thank you. And I'm just gonna make up a name. So it's Norman, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Spell your name.
N-O-R.
You said you went to school, right? You said you went to school. Don't make me use this on your head, all right?
Yes.
One more mistake, it's capital N. Norman, it's a pronoun, it's a noun, isn't it?
Yes.
Proper noun? You don't know?
My English teacher was bad.
Your head getting ready to get sore. But see, turn this around, have a seat. These are some of the tactics that police use. This was a mild one, very mild. Usually they're really nervous and usually that's how they protect. And you did a good job. Thank you. And thank you. Because you got him in trouble talking about I was speeding. Never give up that type of information. I was speeding. Never say stuff that's going to, see, you already admitted he can use it against you. Don't do that. But he was nervous. We have to train ourselves when we're stopped by the police. Yes, officer. Yes, sir. Can I help you, sir? You know why you were being stopped? No, sir. Can you tell me? You were stopped because what? Everybody here know why he stopped. Why was he stopped? Hello. What? Speeding? Were you speeding? Yeah. Guilty? Yeah. We have to learn when the police pull us over to stay calm. You're a child of God. You did nothing wrong. Even if you did something wrong with your cell phone, you made a mistake. You're a kid. You're going to make mistakes. That's why you got mommies and daddy. We're the ones who chastise you sometimes verbally, and sometimes we have to take it in a different way. Okay? I taught you. You made a mistake. Officer, no, I don't know what I did. Make him tell you what you did. I don't need you to tell me what you did. And you keep saying, yes, sir. No, sir. Always appeal to them. Although your pride, it hurts you. I'm talking nasty to them. I was really calm. You all see how some of these police officers talk to these kids. Okay, we're in God's house. But it's 100,000 times worse than this. Okay? And these kids are going to get nervous. They're going to get confused because it's the name of the game. It's a thought question after another question. And sometimes these kids will do foolish things. Like, hold on. Sometimes things like this will happen when police officers come up on a car and they, come here. Okay, come here. All right. Okay, come on. Thank you, son. Good job, brother. Shot. See what happens there? Now I think he has a gun. Shot in the back. Shot in the back. 8 times. Why? He was speeding. That's what he said. Speeding. An infraction for money. He's dead. Took off running. Why did he run? Why did you run? I mean, just make up. Why did you run? Scared?
Scared.
Most of the time, that's what they say. They were scared. And they take off running. We have to learn to train ourselves, talk to our kids. You don't need to do that. You didn't do anything wrong. Stay put. Hold on. Let them, the most they're going to give you is a ticket. It's an infraction. Money. Okay? And we'll give you the ticket, and then you're on your way. We can't lock you up, so we got to send you home. But when you do things like that and admit that you're speeding is one of those violations, I can take you to jail on. Yeah. Speeding, because now I got to take it down, take blood, see if you're drinking, smoking. Because anybody that just took their privilege and abused it must be wrong. Something wrong here. You understand what I'm trying to say here? Okay. I'm going to end now, right now, because my time got away from me. But I want to do more skits with everybody because I had written some down. I wanted to do a lot more. But listen, if nothing else, love your children. Love your children. Every now and then, call them into them out of no reason at all. Come give mommy a kiss. I kiss my son. I kiss him. Daddy, stop doing. Boy, you better get over here. It's that time of month. Daddy gonna kiss us, mommy. Yep. And guess what? You're going to tell your son I kissed him. And his son going to tell his son. You see? It's called keeping the community alive. It's keeping the church alive. It's giving God praise and thanks. Any questions real quick? Any questions? Yes, sir.
Reasonable, probable, and just. Can you explain that?
Reasonable and probable cause. That's a loaded question. Reasonable to the officer, improbable to the officer is how I want to justify it and write it on my paper. But to make it reasonable for you, follow the rules. If those are his rules for the moment, let me say this and I'll end. I'd rather you be right than dead right. I'd rather you to be right than dead right. You get mad. See what he just said? He was upset with that. Because how he going to throw his probable cause on me? Your attitude to get you killed. Let him have it. There's only words. That's why we got a justice system. Go to court. Turn him into IAD. Start putting charges against his name. So when he tried to go to the police department, they said they didn't want him because the last one he was at, he had this, this, and this, and this. Same guy that killed George Foreman had those same things against him that came out later. Put him against him. Turn him in. Stop being afraid and accepting this nonsense. Stand up. There's a community, unity in you. God said, you're more than conquerors. More than conquerors. Okay? I think I'm going to end right there. And thanks, you guys. I appreciate you all coming out. I wish I had more young kids. Yes, ma'am. Because we were, first of all, reason black people fight against these, that's the easy one. And most of you already know the questions. When we were stole from the motherland, we were competing against each other to eat food. We learned to fight and hate. The man put his type of God in us to make us hate one another. He beat us. He whooped us. Because even when we talk about, I'm going home and beat my child, white man talks that way. He beats us. Slavery. I'm going to go whip him. A whip comes from a whip. That's the mentality. That's their mentality. And we keep encouraging instead of changing the verbiage or the language of it. And this is why we don't trust one another, because we have it so grown in us, it's hard not to. Let me do this. You'll come to work and tell Mr. Charlie, good morning, sir, and you'll walk past somebody that look just like me and you. Why do we do that? Is we sick this morning, boss? Hit the machine. Good night, boss. Bright and early. Yes, sir. Stop that mentality. Stop it. Well, because the same mentality, we got their fathers locked up, incarcerated in these prisons. We glorify it. They have nothing else to live for, to look for but prison, because we think going to the big penitentiary is the big thing. Killing another brother to have a tattoo of teardrops that I murdered another brother. The Moabs did that in the Bible, was throwing the babies on the rocks, killing them senselessly. And speaking of that, I'm going to leave this alone. Please don't tell Pastor I said this. But that's why I'm against abortion. We'll leave that alone. That's another subject, okay? That's why we do it. Because deep down inside, we still hate one another. Yet we say we love each other. That's why sometimes when Jesus has said, why do you call me good brother? He's questioning that person's mentality. Why do you call me good brother? Think about that question. Okay, thank you, folks, for giving me the opportunity. Thank all y'all who participated. Thank you. Thank you, man.
God bless you, sir. Good job. Great job. Awesome. Did we enjoy ourselves? Did we learn anything? Only thing is missing should be, as you said, more young people. So what we've got to do is take this information that we gained today and take it home and spread it to our nieces, our nephews, our grandchildren,